And there she is, the newest riverboat on the river, the Crystal Mozart. It has 4 decks. The lower 2 decks is for where the cabins are for the passengers. The 3rd deck is where the dining room, bistro is, and all the palm court where we have piano bar with entertainment. The 4th deck is called the Vista deck. That's where you have all the lounging chairs. There's a bar up there so you can have a drink while you lounge. What else would you do up there? It also has something very unique. It has a garden. Now, whoever heard of a riverboat with a garden up in the 4th deck? Well, this one has one.
Our first stop is in the wine country of the Warschau, where grapes are grown for the most wonderful wine in the world.
Pat and I didn't go on a tour this morning for the simple reason. After the experience we had yesterday in the airport and we got in so late and went to bed, we never got up this morning in time to go on the tour that we had planned. Well, we only missed a small little tour, but it was well worth us getting the sleep that we needed to get.
In this clip, we see the beautiful terraced hillsides of the Warschau Valley to see how the grapes are grown in rows along the hillsides. As we look on the opposite side of the boat, we see the beginnings of the mountains and the river, the trees along the river. It is very green there, very beautiful.
Okay, there you go.
You know, when you're on ship and you're on vacation, what else do you do? Sit here with a glass in your hand and have fun. Are you having fun, Pat?
Absolutely.
Okay, tell me, what's better than sitting on the top deck of the Crystal Symphony with the bartender next to you and the drink? I mean, God, if this is the comforts of home or what is it? Could you ask for more?
Of course.
Cheers. Cheers.
Got everything.
Yeah, of course. You know, you might get used to this.
You'll never come home.
Yeah, maybe we'll never go home.
Oh dear.
Okay, now you're recording.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
This is the life.
This is the life, all right, sitting up here in the bar with a drink.
Of course.
And with this nice lady over here that you met before.
Yes.
Hey, hello there.
There we go.
I said, don't get too used to this kind of life, you know that, because you're not going to get it forever.
But I thought eternity lasted forever.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's a big one too.
This is the palm court up in the ship in the front. This is where they have a piano lounge. We have some entertainment and a place to sit for happy hour and enjoy ourselves. It's really very, very lovely. And it's also a nice place to sit during the daytime because it's not windy over here. And this here is the bistro. This is where you can come at any time during the day and pick up some light finger foods to eat. Make yourself a little sandwich. This food is all spread out all over there on the countertop there. Really quite nice.
Food bar where you pick up your plates, your utensils, your breads, anything you might want to start your snack. Next we come to the variety of meats and condiments where we could start a nice little sandwich for ourselves. Next we come to the cutting board with a variety of cheeses and naturally those famous desserts.
This is our dining room. Really very, very quaint and very nice. As you can see, everybody's enjoying themselves. It's really quite quaint and very nice. And this is our room. Really not very, very large, but it's really quite nice and very, very comfortable. And it's over here on the right hand side is the big screen TV that we have.
Peek through the door to see straight ahead a nice little vanity and mirror. The photo of the shower is a very nice and spacious shower.
We have a very fancy toilet over here. You'd be surprised what it does. Okay, Pat, why don't you see if you can make it work? Go ahead.
Oh, let's see.
Oh, see that? It opens automatically for you. And besides that, the seat is heated. Okay, this has a lovely, lovely spa down here. With a nice pool. And over here, it's a nice hot tub. Let's walk around here and see what we can see. Don't fall in the pool, Pat.
Walk right in.
Don't walk right in.
That would be a splash.
And you can sit out here in the front, look out the windows and see exactly where you're going. So tell me, Pat, what do you think of this?
Absolutely. I'd like to see where we're going here too.
Okay, this is really quite nice.
We can see what's coming. Actually, we could spend a little time here just sitting in the chairs.
We're making quite a wake in front of us.
Lounges. Yeah, I like this. Sitting in the lounge. There's something coming up too that might be
There's another
interesting.
boat coming at us.
After leaving Dernstein in the morning, actually it was late morning, we started heading down up the river for milk. These are all the different villages and churches and pubs that we saw along the river. As you saw in passing on a previous shot, there was quite a large fortress that we passed, and this particular fortress here is way up on the precipice of a hillside, very well situated at the bend of the river so that the area could be properly held in defense from marauding neighbors. These round structures down below the buildings above are the curtain walls where there are a lot of holes. The soldiers would look out and see the enemy coming at them from upriver or from downriver. Next view is our very first and only view of Milk Abbey.
We're now docked and we're walking to our waiting buses, which is going to bring us to our tour of the Ostentine Castle.
Over generations, this medieval keep had evolved into a castle and was purchased by Emperor Franz I in 1823. The castle was given by Archduke Karl Ludwig to his eldest son, Franz Ferdinand. In this castle is the burial place of the Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophie. In this crypt, we learn about the family whose assassination prompted the beginning of World War I in 1914 and changed the course of history for the empire forever. Alongside Franz Joseph and his wife are the burial crypts are some of his children. In this photo is the actual car in which the Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophie were assassinated in Sarajevo on June the 28th, 1914. This started the chain reaction that led to the outbreak of that First World War. Now we are going to take a scan of the countryside, which is the upper Warschau Valley, up from the Danube, and you can see from very far away some wind farms way in the distance. You can see the hills. We cannot see the river right now, but the river is to our right. As you see, the valley slopes down toward the river, and we are up in this little town of, what is it? It's Milk. It's part of Milk, although it's the other side of the river. And we are at a distance from the Milk Abbey, which is closer into the downtown Milk. We stopped in the town of Linz, which dates back from 799. It was originally a Roman town. Sadly, the city was heavily bombarded by the Allies in World War II, 1945. It now is a center of commerce and industry. We chose instead to do a full-day excursion to Austria's Lake District, the Salzkammergut area. This area boasts a total of 76 lakes. Our first stop is the Traunsee, one of the most beautiful lakes in this dreamy region. There is this most beautiful church that overlooks the lake.
This is the front door to the church. We're gonna go in, and the first thing that greets us is this beautiful pipe organ.
Inside, we find a number of very Baroque and beautiful artifacts. The pulpit, which is a very interesting artifact, is in the shape of an ark. The intricate altar tells the story of the Black Madonna. Unique grave site right alongside the church because all of the gravestones are made out of iron. And look at the various renditions of these ironworks. The whole site is full of iron. Great.
From here, I am looking at a nice little quaint little village. And that's the church we were just at.
Our next stop is the town of St. Wolfgang and its lake, the Wolfgang Sea, named after Saint Wolfgang, one of three great German saints of the 10th century. This is a market town, and it has a lovely pilgrim church, delightful shopping center.
At the foot of the hill is another interesting sight that we're coming across. Naturally, what would it be? Another cathedral. That's all we have over here. I had so many cathedrals that I'm sick of looking at them. Okay, now we're going inside and show you some of the sights of this cathedral.
This pilgrimage church is accented with Gothic elements, which will help to teach the pilgrims the stories of the ancient religion.
Just outside the church, there's this nice beautiful restaurant overlooking the lake. And there's Pat standing there ordering 2 beers. The restaurant has 2 swimming pools, one here and another one here which is covered. I think it's simply beautiful. On our way back to the ship, we stopped off at this quaint little place. This is unique because this is where they make schnapps. All kinds of flavors of schnapps. This is our schnapps lady explaining to us about all the different flavors of schnapps that they do make, and there are quite a few of them. When we got inside, we got to sample a little bit of each one of them. But of course, a little bit of each one became a lot, and I'm so glad that I wasn't driving the bus. And in case you don't know what schnapps is, it's a liqueur. And you know what? It's only 180 proof. Our next stop is Passau, Germany, which is a nice, quaint little village, which is not much different than a lot of the other ones that we've seen that we went. But it has one claim to fame, and that's inside of this cathedral. It houses the world's largest organ. It only has 17,700 pipes between metal ones and wooden ones, so they can achieve just about any kind of effect that they want to achieve. You will hear it in a little while. That's the mighty organ, and that's only a fraction of the pipes which they have spread out throughout the entire building. Pat and I are here because they're going to have an organ recital, which lasts for a half hour. And we're looking forward very much to hearing it and see if it meets all the hype that I've heard about it. As you can see, they have a packed house, and it's everybody anxiously awaiting to hear what this organ really sounds like. And it's coming up in another few seconds. building is not the only thing that was vibrating. Pat and I could also feel the music. This is an experience we're not going to forget anytime soon. We're now coming into Bratislava, which is in the Czech Republic, which used to be Czechoslovakia. This building, large building coming into view, used to be a fortress at one time. But Pat is going to give you the information of what it is today.
This ancient fortress that is so imposing at the beginning of the city offers beautiful views, wonderful views of all the surrounding area. The previous structure, begun in the 1400s, was only finished in the 17th century. A fire in the 1811 gutted the whole structure, which was then a desolate ruin for about 150 years. It's now been rebuilt and houses the Slovakian National Museum, as well as a airy cafe.
Being we're going for a tour in Old Town, and where the streets are very, very narrow, a regular sized vehicle can't go down there. So we're transferring into these small buses. They're nothing more than an overgrown motorcycle. But one thing I gotta say about Europe, no matter which country you're going, there's an abundance of sidewalk cafes. Every place you go, that's all there are. Umbrellas, tables outside. I guess this is a way of life they have, which they enjoy very much. These next couple of pictures will show you how narrow these streets really are. A regular sized vehicle would not fit down these streets. You know how small a vehicle we're in, and look how close we are to this building. And look at this arch. Let's face it, it's barely wide enough for people to walk through.
As we move along, we see St. Martin's Cathedral, Bratislava's oldest and most spectacular church, and was the former coronation cathedral of the kings and queens of Hungary. The Kerosene Church, a church and monastery from the 14th century, is here featured. Our next view is of the Old Town Hall, which is situated on the main square. And here we see several views of that main square. Nearby is the University Istropolitana, the oldest university in Slovakia. And surprise, is this cute little sculpture right in the middle of town.
This guy gathers a lot of attention. A lot of people think that he's there picking up ladies' skirts. What do you think? We're now in Budapest, and the first tour that we took is to the Jewish community. This is the Dehaney Street Synagogue, the largest synagogue in all of Europe. It played a very important role in the Holocaust, and you'll find that out as we go on what it was. The interior of the synagogue is really very lavish, very, very pretty. I was amazed as to how nice it is. From here, we're going to go out on the side to the cemetery, which has very close ties to the Holocaust. In 1945, they gathered as many dead bodies as they could and brought them here so they could bury them in mass graves and mark them for remembrance. Even though the remains of all the people that died are not buried here, they do have plaques all set up in alphabetical order to remember all the people that died in these concentration camps. I'm sure you all remember the group of Simon and Garfunkel. Well, Garfunkel's grandfather died in a concentration camp. and his plaque is set up here in memories in section A8.
An artistic rendition of a memorial tree made of metal is found here in the memorial garden. As you see, the leaves have names. Each leaf has a different name and the year in which this person died in the Holocaust. Another artistic memorial to a benefactor.
This is the museum where we took a little tour. We had a very informative guide that gave us about a half-hour lecture on all that took place in the concentration camps and what happened. It's really quite interesting. It's a beautiful night. It's really, the temperature is beautiful, it's really gorgeous. And Pat and I are up on the top deck taking in all the beautiful lights, all the surrounding area. Well, tomorrow we go up to Castle Hill, which is across the river on the Buda side of Budapest. And maybe when we're up there, we will find out what this statue is. Well, I don't know, we'll find out tomorrow when we get up there. Oh, it's another very interesting building over here. It looks like a government building of some kind. You know, it's really something. We're viewing this here at night and really not recognizing what they are. Well, here's a nice shot of the bridge. And you know what? Here comes another building to the side over here. But this one, I do know what it is because I seen it during the daytime. It's the Parliament building of Pest. It's the next morning and we're in a bus and we're crossing over the river into Buda. Now this is one of the buildings that you saw last night as a night shot. This gives you an idea what it looks like in the daytime. After a short drive, we arrived at Castle Hill, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, where we got off and walked by foot to this main attraction up here with this Matthias Church, which is where we are right now. One of the striking features about this church is this unique roof. It's all made out of tile, and you have to admit, it is very different and distinctive. As we were walking towards the church, we passed a store with these unique vases in shapes of figurines. They really made an impression and we had to stop and examine them. We're now at the church and we're about ready to enter and take a look at the inside.
Matthias Church was begun in the mid-13th century to replace a house of worship that had been destroyed by Mongol invaders in 1241. It was not finished until King Matthias himself in the 19th century went ahead and did a thoroughgoing renovation in Neo-Gothic style. Notice the beautiful stained glass windows and also the frescoes covering the walls that are very spectacular. Also, the tile floor of the side chapel is another spectacular feature, along with the rose window.
We're now out in the back on a walkway and showing you again another picture from a different angle of the beautiful roof and this mighty bell tower. We're now on a walkway walking around towards this building that you see here in front of you. This is called a bastion, which is built on top of an old ancient ruin, which was built here on Castle Hill for the defense of Buda.
From this vantage point, Joe took a number of photos of the landscape that we can see starting from Buda on Castle Hill across the river Danube to the other side called Pest. Notice the individual features of the several churches that is shown in the photos.
This is the Parliament building that you saw in a night shot. This is what it looks like in the daytime, and it's over in Pest. Our first stop this morning is Hero Square, which was constructed in 1880. And as you can see, it's a very, very large square with surrounding buildings. And coming up on the main attraction now, which is coming right up here in the center.
This imposing statue of the angel Gabriel looms high in the sky and is easily seen from a great distance. The angel statue also introduces the half circle of colonnades down below, which houses the statues of Hungary's kings and national heroes. At the foot of the St. Gabriel statue is depicted the 7 chieftains of the Magyars.
From Hero Square, we moved on to the horse farm, to where we're going to be seeing quite an extensive horse show. So all we're going to do is give you some of the highlights of the show and hope that you enjoy what we're going to show you.
Even in front of us on this 4-in-hand carriage, you can greet our herdmaster, ladies and gentlemen, Guinness Recorder World Champion, Sir Gabor Szegedi! Applause! Do you want to see these coaches flying and reach the fields? Let's go then! Yeehaw!
One major skill of the Magyar horsemen is their expertise with the whips.
But after them, ladies and gentlemen, if you look to the right, you can see a much slower animal, Hungarian grey cattle. These oxen, with them 1 ton weight, they are good, not just like a working animal, but also they bring them in Western Europe in the markets for the meat of the grey cattle, which is really delicious, and the cholesterol level low. Well, going with this speed to Western Europe, it's taken a while, as you can see, but it wasn't a stressful life, yeah? Take it easy, keep calm, this is the maximum speed in the 4th gear. Lying down, donkey. Pretty good, but let's see what he can do with his whip. Oh, that's not working. Like this, you see? So, try to do something else. Oh, sitting donkey, my God. Almost there, almost there. You just have to charge your battery in that. So the first thing what you have to do, stand next to your donkey, put your 2 hands on the back. Hey, cheeky monkey, leave that donkey alone. So, for 3, you have to take a sit. Give the leg and let's count together. 1, 2, 3. Too much passion. And for 3, you have to jump, how just he showed you. Now, okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3. to this dream came true by training his horses. As you can see, he did it. Since from there the Hungarian horsemen pass over of this knowledge, they just giving from each other to generation, and that's how our Puszta 5 can be here with us. In front of him, 14 horses. In a 3 line, 4, 4, 4 horses plus 2. Here he is coming.
And naturally, every show has to have a pretty lady in it. And here she is, sitting in this beautiful horse side saddle. And wait till you see how she makes this horse respond effortlessly. It's a wonder that she can do what she does, what she's doing.
We spent a very lovely afternoon watching these Magyar people showing us their horseman skills of yesteryear.
After a very long day and a good dinner, Pat and I came up to the palm court. There isn't too many people up here now because most of them are still down at dinner time. They'll be up very shortly. In the meantime, Pat and I are going to sit here, enjoy a drink, and enjoy this gentleman here who is playing the piano for us. This guy is really quite a good pianist and also a nice vocalist. He's very enjoyable listening to. What else could we want more than this to enjoy ourselves?
The golden daffodil at last nods
What better way to end a beautiful evening other than this?
is the face in the misty night. Footsteps that you hear down the hall.
We're now in Vienna, and today we're going on a culinary tour, and which means we're going to be sampling all kinds of goodies along the way. Plus, we're going into a liquor store and going down into a wine cellar, which is where we are right now. Well, we're in the wine store now, and we're walking over to the steps that's going to take us down into the wine cellar. Down quite a ways. Okay, here we go. Hang on, Pat. Grab a hold of the rail. Down and down and down we go. You know what? It's getting darker as we go down.
Down into the depths of the underground, under all the buildings. You don't know where you're going to go. To the wine cellar.
Okay, here we are. Now we're down there. Oh, we have about 5 different bottles of wine to sample from. We got cheeses, we got spreads, we got crackers. Well, we got quite a spread here that we can feed on.
Oh, so many bottles of wine. They just go on and on and on. And now a tasty little snack of cheeses and crackers to go with all our wines.
And there's the rest of our group enjoying their goodies. We're now walking towards our next destination, which is the world famous cafe that serves all kinds of pastries and stuff all made out of chocolate. And as I said before, every place you look in Europe here, in Vienna also, all you see is sidewalk cafes in every possible place where they can put it. We're now walking towards a cafe, which is one of the most famous ones in Vienna, if not the world. It deals strictly with chocolates. And man, there's Pat all ready to start to pick out her menu.
We're now in a cafe, and here's a menu, and this is a few things that we can possibly get. Let's read some of them off, Pat.
First of all, this is the Hotel Sacher, where the original Sacher chocolate torte was developed. And the top item on the page here is a Sacher chocolate parfait with strawberries and whipped cream. The second item here is a mousse. It's a poached red wine pear with vanilla thyme mousse. Then there are the cake selections. There is the Grand Marnier torte, made with Grand Marnier, and the mango torte, made here again with mango. The raspberry citrus cake is made with yogurt, and here's the Estersacy slice. The nut cake, which is a nuss torte, and a coffee caramel slice. And at the very bottom are the specialty cakes.
Okay, this is our dessert that we get, hot chocolate with cake, and
Sacher cake.
at what?
Sacher cake.
Yeah, a chocolate cake, right. And remember one thing, Pat, in about a half hour, we're going to be back on ship, and it's lunchtime.
Forget that.
Are you sure?
Yes, well, we're looking forward to this special Sacher cake and at the Hotel Sacher. And we'll have hot chocolate with it. So, bon appetit. Outside of the Cafe Sacher on the square is the Cathedral of St. Michael, Vienna's major cathedral. It is well known for the size of its bell. In the bell tower is one of the very largest of bells in the whole of Europe.
It is now time for our farewell dinner. And then we're going to this grand hotel in Vienna, going up to the 8th floor where they have a very, very high-end, fancy French restaurant for our dinner. As we entered the dining room, we were greeted by this gentleman playing the piano. And he was playing very nice, soft, beautiful, listening music. And we were sat at its table over here with two English ladies that we met on a trip. And we had a very, very enjoyable evening.
We began this course with an elegant plate of scallops with caviar, but the scallops were raw. Now I know why the British ladies originally refused to be served the scallops and were served a salad instead.
But the rest of the meal was really quite very good. I enjoyed that anyway, even though Pat did not particularly like it. Well, Pat, we're reaching the end of our cruise. And when you first suggested this, I didn't know whether I was going to like this or not, for the simple reason I always did ocean cruises. I never did a river cruise. So this was my first experience at one.
Well, I had hoped that you would like it, and so that's why I did choose the Danube.
Yes, and it was great, and I really did enjoy it, especially the good food they serve on this ship, and the entertainment, and the things that I saw in these places, which I would have never seen other than being on a river cruise. Yes, I really enjoyed this a lot.
Good. So now we will say goodbye.
Yeah, it is time that we say goodbye to all the good people. So, goodbye.